So, guys, we're actually starting a new podcast here. I just posted one with my buddy John. We were just rapping at my desk, talking about things, and it went down the kind of road of daddies and being a father. And I think this is a topic that needs to be, shared and needs to be explored. It's kind of funny saying it, daddy, but as far as being a father, and I decided to start a new podcast, and it's going to be a different segment, a different vibe, more of just a kind of conversational podcast talking about, daddy things and dad things. And I'm going to interview different dads, and we're going to talk about life and our views on things and stuff like that. But it kind of just fell into place. So we're going to call it Daddy Talk. This is officially the second episode of Daddy Talk. And Memo, you're not a daddy, so I don't think you can even be part of this shit, can you? I mean, you can just look there and smile.
I mean, either way, I'm still called daddy some sort of way.
Oh.
So, but besides that.
Well, like I said, hats off to you. If you're laying shit down the right way and someone calls you daddy, then hey, you're someone's daddy.
Exactly.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thumbs up, baby.
Thank you, baby.
You must be reading my book.
Just a little bit.
But I have a good friend here, actually somebody that we met. How long have we known each other, Justin?
3 years.
We met on social media, right?
Yeah, 3 or 4 years.
So Justin Tidd, he's
Yep.
from, where are you from?
West Virginia.
West Virginia. You hear that accent? That shit is sexy. I like accents.
It's trustworthy.
It's trustworthy. He looked trustworthy too. His accent matches his face. You'll see the videos. But, the power of social media, you kind of, birds of a feather flock together. And this guy's 40 years old, same age as me, has a lot of tattoos. He's in the bodybuilding. He competes. He has 4 kids, so he definitely is a daddy. And we're going to rap, and I'll just talk about life and being a daddy and what he does and why he's successful and everything. Like I said, it's going to be, my other podcast, Till You Collapse podcast, is more business stuff, mindset stuff. And we'll still talk about stuff like this in this podcast, but this is going to be more of maybe sometimes controversial stuff and stuff that we really go all over the place. And it's going to be more entertaining maybe. But that's the point of this, It's kind of just coming together. What do you think of that idea, honestly, both you guys?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, man. Like, I think nowadays dads, one, it's not looked upon in a certain way to be manly in a way. It's almost discredited. And I believe, testosterone is lower than it's ever been.
Oh, yeah, big time.
And guys they're not taking leadership in their family like they used to.
No, not at all.
So I think it's a great podcast to get out there and let people hear about that and, how that works for your business, your fitness, your family, your faith, your health, like whatever. Yeah, it takes a man to lead in a lot of ways.
It does. A household, a family, be the example, be an alpha. You know what I mean? Like it's going to the wayside nowadays, and so tell a little bit of everyone listening kind of what you're about. You don't got to talk about your whole story, but anything you think, what do you do? What do you do?
Oh man,
I know you do a little everything, but
that's a big question.
Yeah.
Relatable to this, right? Is so I'm a chief sales officer. I'm a board member, so I sell equipment all around the world in the mining industry, traction power industry.
And listen to this, guys. What is your biggest year sale number?
$35 million.
$35 million in sales in a year. Mm-hmm. This motherfucker sells shit.
Yeah,
I like it. I love sales.
Yeah, I've done a little over $300 million in the last 10 years.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And is it a commission-based job or salary? Or
it's salary plus bonus. Yeah.
And your bonus is based on your sales.
Yep.
Okay.
Sales and EBIT.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I know you've been killing it. And here's the thing, guys. This guy, I see this guy. You do whatever the fuck it takes to make a sale. And that's, I like a lot of things about you, but like I see you posting shit like I just drove. Like, tell us a couple of those like the craziest couple of stories you have, like about like what it took to get the sale and what you did. Like that falls in the mindset. That falls in being a daddy, being an alpha, and doing what it takes to close a sale, earn business, feed your family. It all ties together, right?
Man, so, I'll tell you some funny stories. Yeah. I'll tell you a few here.
Yeah.
So my very first sale this is 15 years ago in the company. I couldn't break his customer. I couldn't figure him out. Didn't know what was going on. I was young, in my early 20s. He's older, 50s, something like that. So I didn't have that respect. So I was trying to figure him out, thinking about all the conversations we had. And he was big on the Cold War and John F. Kennedy and Nikita Khrushchev. So I was traveling one time in Illinois and went to dinner. I was thinking about this customer. I was swimming in a pool at the hotel. And I was like, I'm going to buy some motherfucker some books. So I go up to the hotel room, buy him a bunch of books, right? I get them in, and then I wrote a letter in the book saying, hey, I was at the bookstore, and I thought about you.
Yeah.
Right? This resonated with our conversations, which I bought it online.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
He didn't know that.
No. Sent it to him.
He does, but...
Yeah. Sent it to him.
Yeah.
And that was how I got my first sale.
Nice. Thank you.
Another one was customer was just blowing me off. And I drove to the mine site. It was like 6 a.m. And he was underground working. I sat there until 7 p.m. by a fucking tree.
So you drove at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
You got there what time?
About 8 a.m. when I got there.
And you sat there from 8 a.m. till 7 p.m.
Yeah, and he came out, and I sat there and negotiated.
You guys hear that? That's a fucking dad, a provider, doing what needs to be done to get the job done. It falls right in the mindset that we talk about. Everything. That's crazy. And then I see you driving, like, you'll drive cross country and stuff for meetings, and, like, obviously that's your job, but, like I see you, like, you working crazy hours. Like sometimes you work, like, what's the craziest hour split you've ever done? Like,
well, anything from 4 a.m. to, 2 a.m. probably, because if I'm up early on the East Coast and I go West Coast, and then I'm traveling all day once I land, I mean, I'm still running East Coast time. So you're talking, easy 20 hours.
Yeah.
Is some of the craziest days that I've done.
And you've been in sales pretty much your whole life?
Dude, I've been in sales since I was like 10.
Okay. So you love sales.
Yeah.
And then fitness, obviously, are you in fitness? You're obviously really fit for 40 years old. You compete.
Yep.
And then you kind of hit the base on it. Like, what do you think? Like obviously nowadays testosterone is lower than ever. Mm-hmm. It's fucking crazy. And I think it's like obviously the food, the way what they put in the food, what they feed us, the way they grow it, everything, right? It
has to be, because it's never been that way before. And when you and I were growing up, it was 30 after 30 years old, then you need to start paying attention to it. Mm. I've got clients now that are 23, 24, 26 with low testosterone. They've never run testosterone cycles before. Makes no sense. It doesn't. So something else is happening.
Yeah. I saw that. There's some of those studies. And here's the thing, guys. For being a male, being a dad, being an alpha, testosterone is key. Like, it's a fucking fact. So you can't get around it. You can't talk shit on it. They're the hormones in our body. We're all made up the same way. If you have low testosterone, if your testosterone's on a low end, you're going to be suffering. You're not going to be productive. You're not going to have energy. You're not going to be strong. You're going to have more fat on your body. You're going to have less muscle. Your dick's not going to work.
That's a fact.
I mean, a bunch of shit. It's real talk. And you guys are over here screaming about, like, everyone likes to hate. Like, oh, all you do is take steroids, and the only reason why you look is because you take steroids. Motherfucker, I've been taking hormone replacement therapy for about 3 years. The amount I take, my levels are still in the natural range. Mm-hmm. So, yes, I may not be getting it naturally because I'm 40 years old and my levels are fucked up from when I competed and took a bunch of shit back in the day. But theoretically, I am still, quote unquote, within the natural range. So a natural person could look how I look only if they're willing to put in the work, the dedication, the discipline, the consistency that I have with my eating and lifting, which that is the main thing. And they love, it's their go-to.
Yep.
Oh, it's just because of steroids. Like, they think it's some magic pill. And there's so many guys, especially young guys in the gym, taking shit that look like shit.
Yep. Because nutrition's the biggest part of it, and people really don't put enough energy or focus into the nutrition side of it.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. They go straight to the supplements. Their work ethics, half-ass. Their dedication, their nutrition's half-ass. And it does amplify your results. So sometimes based on genetics, response to supplements and stuff like that, some people can get pretty good results even if they train half-ass and their nutrition's half-ass, just because it works. And some people's response is way better than others. And then they just stop and they go to shit. I see it all the time.
Well, and some people don't understand how testosterone actually reacts in the body. And it can I mean, naturally, your testosterone will increase your estrogen. And a lot of people don't understand that. So they'll just pump testosterone or think they can blast 1,000 milligrams a week when their body might not even be able to handle that.
Yeah.
It might not even be able to handle 700 a week. So just to take your blood and your labs, see where that is. As your testosterone increases, take your lab work, see what your estrogen is, and then be able to suppress that estrogen, or you're going to feel like shit with high testosterone because your estrogen's all fucked up too.
Yeah. You got to definitely monitor those. Even that happened to me recently. Like I said, this podcast, we're going to talk about everything. I'm always real on my other podcasts as well. I hate the fake shit, but I've taken my hormone replacement for a long time, and I usually take an anti-estrogen a couple times a week, once a week, but sometimes, you can't take too much anti-estrogen. So you want to have a healthy balance. You need a little bit of estrogen, but just not too much, right? Yeah. And then I've crashed it where I had too little, and that's not a good feeling as well. So it's kind of a balancing act. You need to know your levels, and you need to be smart about it. But getting to my point of what I'm saying is, I didn't take my anti-estrogen for a few weeks, and I definitely noticed my estrogen increase. I felt like I was holding more fat. My nipples started to get sensitive. It's crazy how fast it happens. It's crazy how fast it happens. When I started taking it again, I'm back to normal.
You hold more water too.
Yeah. It's crazy. But I've known my body. I know like how I look from a day to day. I know what changes happen. We've been doing it for so many years. I mean, how many years have you been lifting?
Oh, I've been lifting since I was a teenager.
Same as me, right? So we're like 25 plus years in.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
25 years of doing something.
But I wasn't real good at lifting till about 6 years ago, because I didn't understand how to lift.
Really?
Yeah. Not to like the fullest extent,
Now you
ego lifted, and I didn't understand it.
And have you just started competing recently? Is this a new thing, or have you done it your whole life?
I started competing 5 years ago.
Okay, so at 35.
Yeah.
And why? What brought that on? What was the motivating factor behind that?
Dude, it was my wife. My wife's a bikini athlete. Okay. She's a national bikini athlete, and I watched her compete, and I was like, I worked out.
Yeah.
I looked decent.
Yeah.
But I was like, fuck, okay, I got to take this next level.
Okay. That's cool.
And talk about dads.
Yeah.
It'd be real cool for my kids to be like, my dad's a professional athlete.
Yeah.
Like there's something there with that.
Yeah.
They see the work ethic. They see how I eat. They see how I train. And that's, I believe that's our responsibility as fathers, is to show that to our children, to be able to live a better life than seeing the opposite. Because, they're watching, right?
They watch everything.
Everything.
They see it all.
Yeah.
So you have 4 kids. Talking about being a daddy. You have 4 kids from how many moms?
3.
That's some daddy shit right there, 100%. I give you credit to that. And here's the thing. Obviously, I'm being funny about it. There's nothing funny about it, and that's just life and experiences and shit happen. But I'm sure as you go down that path, every time you've learned, right? You've learned from each one. Yeah. You've gathered something from each one, and now you are who you are, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you never look at it and say, well, I fucked up, or I did this, or I shouldn't have done that. And, I mean, life happens for a reason. I mean, Ed always says life happens for us, not to us. Yeah, exactly. and I believe that. Yeah. So, however my life had turned out, it turned out. And I think a lot of dads probably have that story, whether they got divorced or something happened. And you got to figure out how to still have that relationship with an ex and your children. So I think it's just a matter of accepting it and figuring out how to keep moving forward. I mean, I never get trapped in the negativity of anything.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You seem like that type of person. Yeah. Have you always kind of had the mindset that you have? I mean, have you obviously you have any huge is your upbringing or growing up? You have any huge what's the word I'm looking for? Huge hard times that you've had to overcome, or anything you've really had gone through that's really rough? Like me, I basically all my shit repoed, almost got kicked on the street, really bottom point I was at when I 13 years ago. Have you ever had a bottom point like that, or anything you've struggled with?
Yeah. So for me, it was just growing up right out of the gate. We were poor, but we weren't poor enough to get food stamps when I was a kid. But we had to wear last year's clothes, or we couldn't get a Snickers bar at the grocery store. We didn't have money that allowed us to have anything we wanted, or we had one pair of shoes a year. So I think that built me tough. And I had an uncle that was a vice president of a pharmaceutical company, and he ended up dying of leukemia. But for whatever it was, I made a trip to Atlanta to see him when I was 12, and that really opened my eyes. Like, I don't know why. It was weird. You know, he had a Porsche, he had a boat, had a nice house, and I was like, I can have this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I can have this.
Yeah. What do you do?
He was a vice president of a pharmaceutical company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you probably said that. I just...
Yeah.
Mushrooms kick it in. Yes, we both took a mushroom before the podcast, the pills. And you had a good... You like mushrooms, right? You've tried the chocolates. What do you think about them? Have you tried them past before that, or was this your first time that you tried them? Or
that was the first time, maybe a year ago, I think. It was May last year.
Yeah.
So
what do you think?
not
What's
that
like
far.
an honest feeling like? Did you try taking a little bit each time, or did you just take a bunch? Or
Yeah, I took a little bit, and then like I doubled up the dose to try to see how it was, and I did it on a work day.
Okay.
So I just wanted to see. It was just me by myself at my office, you know, and it I want to say I wasn't paranoid.
Yeah.
I wasn't some of the things that you might think that would come from it. I was just very alert.
Okay.
The room did seem brighter.
Yeah. That's a thing. For
yeah.
Sure. Yep.
And my pupils probably got dilated a little bit.
Okay.
But as far as that, I mean, I felt good. I was happy.
Okay.
I banged out some quality work.
Yeah,
dude,
for sure.
Banged out some great work.
And that's the thing, people don't get it. Like I said, everyone, like, they don't know what it is. They don't know what to think. They're like, oh, can I take this and can I function? Like, you just took it during a work day and banged out quality work. I work and run companies and hold meetings and record podcasts and have workouts. You know, it's not what you think it is. I mean, honestly, taking a shot or two of alcohol will inhibit you more than this, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And listen, when I was like early days of college or late days of high school, I mean, I took the real mushrooms. I tried it out.
Yeah.
You know, so I know what it's all about.
Yeah.
And
like you took a bunch?
Yeah.
See, I've never done that. Like, what did you feel when you took a bunch? Of just like you see shit or what?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you see like shit flying off the wall. It's not really there. You see leaves falling out of trees. It's not falling. Like, you know, you see stars in the sky that are moving that aren't moving. Like,
okay.
you can really see some interesting shit for sure.
So you took a bunch. So as far as lifting, so you've been lifting for 25 years. You want to become a pro, men's physique. Honestly, I've always wanted to be a pro. It's funny, too, because I have such a passion of lifting. And originally, I wanted to be a pro when I was younger. And I haven't competed for about 10 years, but I've just recently been starting to talk about competing again this year or next, maybe do some classic physique and do masters. You know, I can do masters 40, masters 35, and open.
Yep.
And I think for 40, if I really dial in, I can compete. I could be even turn pro at 40.
Dude,
you know
100%.
I mean? So, you know, and then that'd be something like I mark that check off my box that I've always kind of had as a kid. So I've been playing around with that idea because, like you said, it'd be just to be a pro and mark that off. Like I said, I don't think you know, it brings some validation and some credibility. You know, obviously we have 25 years of lifting, nutrition. We know what we're doing. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's awesome. You should. I know.
We'll see.
May this year.
You got one coming this year?
May?
May?
Come do it with me.
That's going to be soon, man.
16 weeks.
It's starting now? Or?
It started last week.
Are you on prep?
Yeah. Like,
okay,
it's like maintain. It's cardio is only 3 days a week. What I consider prep is probably 10 weeks when the cardio starts banging pretty good. You know,
This guy's doing his first show this year.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. In June, I believe, because doing the SAC show, and then in August, I had the Tahoe show.
Nice.
So I'm doing both of them. Might as well try both of them.
Men's physique.
Yeah, men's physique.
Yep.
He's pretty young. He's 24?
Yeah.
24.
Nice.
Yeah. So got some time.
See. Yeah. So we'll see.
You do good.
We'll see. I mean, I don't know, but this guy's going to get grumpy.
I won't be ripped and grumpy. It's okay.
He's
Dude,
going to get grumpy.
That's okay.
First show,
he's pretty lean and he's pretty loosely. But I honestly, now that I think about it, even though you have those lunches where you eat and it's like not the best thing, but you don't eat much though. It's not like you go home and have another meal like that, or you have a meal before that like that.
My
It's
meals
like,
at home are like it's cut steak and rice and broccoli.
So it's like you have. I don't think you even need enough, honestly. If you really added it up, it'd probably, you know what I mean? Because you have that one big lunch, but that's really all you eat all day.
It's most people's problems.
Yeah.
They don't eat enough food. I mean, you should be eating 6 meals a day.
Yeah. That's what I do with my meal preps. I'm having 4 plus 2 protein shakes, 1 in the morning and 1 at night when I'm at home.
Yeah.
So that's my routine diet in a sense. But it's hard.
So you recently, I mean, let's talk about, so you have your main gig, the sales gig, you're hustling, you're doing, and you travel a pretty good amount for that, huh?
Yeah.
Let's talk about, traveling. You have 4 kids. How old are they all?
12, 13, 16, 18.
Boys, girls?
Oldest and youngest are girls, and boys in the middle.
Are they, do you have pretty good, are they near you, or are they all spread out, or?
As far as like
where they live?
Living? Yeah, so my oldest daughter, she lives with us. My 13-year-old son lives with us. Okay. And then the other 2 are back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, you still see them and everything.
Yeah.
Do that.
Of course.
Are they into fitness? Have you taught any of them fitness? Are they interested in it at all? Or?
Yeah. Our 12-year-old, he's the most. He's turned into a decent wrestler.
Okay.
In middle school, and he'll be in high school next year. So he's really taken on the fitness role and like wanting to work out and get better. Our oldest daughter, she enjoys it, but she likes it on her terms. And then our 16-year-old son, he's kind of the same. Like, he wants. But his work ethic is a little. It's not ready for the gym yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then our youngest daughter, she just did. I trained her legs. She's 12.
Okay.
I trained her legs last weekend.
Nice.
As her first training session.
Oh hell yeah! How was that?
It was great, man.
What did she think? She obviously pretty sore, probably, huh?
Dude, she wasn't, and I was afraid to push her because she's kind of small, right?
Yeah.
She does cross country and track, and so I was like, okay, I don't want to like. Really make her sore in her first day.
Because she had a bad experience, she wouldn't want to come back.
Yeah. And so the next day, I'm like, hey, are you sore? She's like, no, not at all. And she's doing 40-pound leg extensions and leg curls.
Yeah.
And I had her doing some lateral leg presses.
Cool.
So.
And she enjoyed it?
Yeah, she loved it.
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's a fun time. I know when I first started training my kids, it's just real fun. It's exciting for us because we love it so much, But like you said, you can't really force it. You don't want to force it. You just be the example and try to set the example and instill it in them. But if they don't want to do it, you can't force what they're interested in,
Yeah, and that was going to be my question to you is how did you handle that with your children,
So I have both of my kids, I have my oldest son and then I have my older daughter. They're both really into it. My older daughter doesn't do it quite as much, but she'd like to do it more than she does, so I got to get her in her more. My younger son, I kind of just started with him. I started with him a little younger than I even did my first 2. He's 10. I think it's too young. Physically, they'll be okay as long as you're doing the right stuff. People say, "Oh, it's too young," but you got to know what to do. Like they should be active. Like we're humans, we're meant to be active. But like, I think mentally is the main thing. Some 10-year-olds may be mentally there. He's not.
Yeah.
So I've got to wait a little longer for him. Because I think he'll really pick up on it. But like I said, my son loves it. My daughter loves it. I love training them.
Yeah.
It's the best thing ever. Just something you really love and you're passionate. You kind of pass the torch a little bit.
That's a cool experience as dad, right?
Yeah. It's like I said. I remember when I first trained him when he was 12. Like, it's crazy to talk about, but as being a dad, one of the biggest things that I ever dreamt of is like having a son. I got to have a son. I love having my daughters. I love being a girl dad. It's nothing like that. It's like it's like totally different experience, but like as fucking alphas.
Yeah.
And man, just keeping it real. Like you want a fucking boy. You want to carry your name along. You want to have a little mini you. Like, let's be real. Like, this is daddy talk. Like, I wanted that.
Yeah.
And I remember when I found out my first kid was going to be a son, I was fucking pumped, And then like I was like, I can't wait to work out with this kid, even like from when he was born. And then fast forward, you have to wait 12 years, right?
Yeah.
And then 12 years, and then like you said, you don't know if they're gonna like it, they're gonna hate it. Obviously, you see him; he's fucking crazy beast. He loves it and he does it. Thankfully, and it's just been a great experience.
So I use his photos to motivate my sons.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
I'm like,
awesome.
Look, let me show you where he was, and let me show you where he is.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's fucking. And the thing, like I was telling him the other day, because he's a big baseball and football player, but mainly baseball is his main sport. And he's just starting his sophomore year now, sophomore baseball at high school. And I'm like, dude, with him, it's his mind. he's my first child. He's more of an introvert. He's very kind of shy and quiet, and he struggles with his mind as far as confidence and everything, which is funny because I see myself in him. When I was younger, I dealt with that. I was more of an introvert. Who I am now, I've built and built that up, like, over experiences and years in my life, but I think, and sometimes I get frustrated, but then I think back when I was his age, he's very similar to me when I was that age. Obviously, I'm different now.
Yeah.
But I just, because he has all the ability in the world. I'm like, dude, you're 5'10", 5'11", 202 pounds. You're pushing weight more than grown men do.
Yeah.
I'm like, you have all the power. You have all the strength. You could hit that. You could hit jacks all day long. You have all the ability. It's believing you have the ability and then transitioning and using that ability. And just trying to get him to have confidence and believe in himself, because I know what he's capable of. I'm so proud of him. But getting him, and it's kind of cool because he's got a very humble personality. Even though I hate the word humble once you look at the definition of it, but he's very what's a different word than humble? It's kind of like he's very
grounded.
Very grounded. Yes. That's the perfect word. He's very grounded, which I love because everyone's like, oh my God, you're so big, you're so strong. He's just like, doesn't want to talk about it. Like, he's just like, don't look at me, don't talk about me, which is kind of sweet and cool, but like, I'm like, you also need to have you're like, fuck yeah, I am who I am, and take that, because I'm like, dude, you could take off. Because, you could have all the physical ability in the world, but if that mind isn't connected, you're not going to use it.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's his age, because he's 16, right?
He's 15.
15. See, so my son just turned 16 November.
Yeah.
He is the same.
Yeah.
Very much the same. He's 6'1", 160 pounds, tall, lean, is fast, right? And runs track, played basketball. And but it's the same thing. It's his mindset. Like, he's better than what he understands he is.
Yes.
And I see it like you.
Yeah.
And you just want to be like, if you could see yourself the way I see you.
Yes.
You would feel more confident about yourself and your abilities. And I think back the same as you. Me at 16, I ran track, played golf, and played basketball on the weekends. But I probably had the same.
Yeah.
I think I was. I think I was probably I lacked some confidence when I was 16.
Yeah.
Had some self-esteem issues, things like that. But it took a while for me to build that up also. But then you want to say, man, like, I fucking had that shit. Like, I just want you to see. And I try to talk to him about it, sit down, talk through it. But
yeah, does he communicate with you a lot?
Not much.
No,
no.
Mine doesn't either. Mine doesn't either. I try to talk to him. He's just
that's a son-father thing, big time.
A son-father.
Because you're more dominant fathers,
yeah.
So therefore you're more disciplined, you're more stationary kind of deal, and we don't want to vent to our dads. Okay. We want to vent to our moms.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
That makes sense.
We don't like just because
he does vent to his mom. And
seem emotion as weak.
Yeah.
Like as a child, I'm 24, so my stepdad is very, very like Hispanic, old school style. He's your age, 40 years old. Yeah. He's a dick. He's an asshole. But like emotional, like it's weakness for him. Like any emotions, like kind of weakness, and turns into anger. Yeah. So us kids don't want to show our emotions to our dads because then they're gonna think we're weak. That's our mentality.
Okay.
That's an interesting way of looking at it. I can see that. Yeah.
Well, at least the kid fucking puts his input. He may not be a dad. He's more of a kid than a daddy. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense because he does share more with his mom. Mm-hmm. And I wish he would share more with me, but maybe
the mom will baby.
That's why.
The mom will baby him. That's why you won't.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
That is a fact. That is a fact. Yeah.
It's a boy. You're not gonna baby your boy.
That makes sense.
Not that I'm hard, but and he knows I love him. But man, it's like, but you want to help where you can. Mm-hmm. But I see what you're saying about how that comes across probably pretty harsh sometimes because he'll literally dodge me for a week if he don't want to tell me something. Yeah, like it's because he knows we gotta talk it out.
Well, I'm glad it's not just me.
Nah.
That's good to know. Fuck yes. Okay. Good to know. And I'm sure some of you guys listen to this and you guys will relate to it too. But another thing I want to ask you is because I know you travel way more than I do and you're high level and, for your sales job. And then another thing I want to talk about is your personal training. Your online coaching has blown up this last year. You've had some pretty big name people you've trained, and I'm really proud of you for that because I remember a year ago you were here.
Yeah.
And the growth in a year has been amazing. So fucking shout out. How's that to you, man? How's that been?
Thank you. Dude, it's been awesome. Yeah. And it's just understanding the scale of it and seeing what's happening and putting in the time and work, to really push forward with it. Because I fell into coaching on accident, kind of, but then it started taking off. But over the last year, I decided I'm really going to focus into it. And dude, I got a lot of high-end clients we talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, I got clients in Australia.
Yeah.
All the way through
like high net
London.
worth individuals.
Yeah,
right?
high net worth.
Is that who your niche is? Is that who you focus on? Do you focus on everyone? Because have you found out who your main clientele is? Are you kind of all over the place, or?
Yeah, so it's about 55% men, 45% women. Latinos.
Okay.
Is my number one culture that are my clients.
Hardworking Mexicans, man, I tell you. That's why they do all the hard jobs.
Yeah. So it's really interesting when I started like breaking out kind of the data to see that, and I was kind of like, wow, okay, interesting. A lot of people from California, Florida, Texas, New York, Washington State. So I mean, it's all over the U.S. and then like in London.
Yeah.
But it's mostly a lot of executives. People own their own businesses. I think it's just people that really understand that driven mindset to like work and take themselves through a program that will work with a coach, because a lot of people tend to give up on a lot of things.
Hell yeah.
And like Brad Lee, when I was on his podcast and I coached him, but he was like, Justin's not going to do the work for you.
Yeah.
But he gives you the plan. And it's like, I'm not going to like text people and be like, did you work out today?
Yeah.
But you check in, you do your job, I do my job, and everybody's happy, and the program works.
And it's blowing up, and so you have two kind of big incomes now, and you're working full time, and you're doing this, and so everyone that's like, I don't have the time, or it's too much. This man has 4 children. He has basically 2 full time gigs. I mean, the training isn't full time gig, like you said. You did it on the weekends, which is amazing. Yeah. For what you make from it, and you do it on the weekends, so it's possible, guys. I mean, here's living proof of it right here. So my question with this segue into, as far as the whole thing of balance and having 4 kids and working 2 jobs that are bringing in a decent income, and like literally the weekdays, the weekends, have you struggled with balance? Have you struggled with managing time with the family, or how do you do that? What do you do with that whole thing?
I don't feel like I have. I've been traveling about 12 years, so every other week or every 3 weeks, I've been gone. So it's almost kind of like it's been created since they were really small that I do go away for work. So I think that's allowed the time, the management to be a little bit easier. But I hang out with the kids. Like, I work all day. I hang out maybe for an hour and a half. I train myself at night. Like, I don't train in the morning. I train at night.
I know. I noticed that. So so fuck, dude. You
I train 8:30 to 10 p.m. usually.
This guy trains 8:30 to 10 p.m., bro. I've seen it. I'm like, God damn. My old ass is fucking nodding on the couch at fucking 9:30, 10 p.m. I'm like, fucking.
No time for yourself.
Yeah, but you're usually waking up 3 hours after I go to bed.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? I go to
like,
bed about 12:31 a.m.
Oh, fuck.
He's the opposite of you then, in a sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You're up early doing the stairs. I'm still sleeping.
I got you. So it all works out, though.
Yeah. And then, the weekends, I wake up early. I basically work 6 hours Saturday morning, 6 hours Sunday morning, knocks out all my coaching. And then I got Saturday, Sunday to do whatever. Yeah. And usually I train one of those days, and then I hang out with my family the rest of the time. So they get time.
That's good.
They have to understand that, I think, as a father and as a leader of the family, like, I think dads might feel sorry or guilty, like, to put time into themselves in the gym or side businesses.
Yes.
That's
huge right there.
But it's also their responsibility to show their kids, like, this is what life can be like. I could sit here and watch football every fucking Sunday, and I like football, but I don't. Yeah. And I know a lot of dads, not knocking you, but you sit there, watch football or basketball, and watch your sports, and it's like, how's that being a leader to your children?
Yeah. Well, it's also, you feel guilty / that's an easy segue to get out of the work. Yeah. Because most of them don't like the work. Yeah. We're not most people.
That's true. Yeah.
Being an alpha, being a daddy is not normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so give yourself some credit to that. I mean, everything you just said. I mean, working out every night, 8 to 10:30, traveling full time, weekend full time, making time. Like, yeah, oh yeah, they feel guilt. You feel guilty for working out instead of spending time with your kid. But you also, let's be real, you probably really don't want to do the work either. Eat healthy, do what you need to do, because it's hard. It's not easy.
It is hard.
That's
right.
I mean? So I get that too, because I feel guilty a lot, but I also have pride in the way I look. I have pride in everything I have earned.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm very proud of that. You know, I love that I'm 40 now. I'm thriving. I feel in a better place than I've ever been mentally, physically almost too. You know, I'm not quite as dense and big, but I'm also not running the kind of drugs I was back then. I'm not lifting as heavy as I was because of injuries. But as far as like all around, I've never been in a place like this financially. Everything come together. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I may have been fucking throwing around crazy weight and looked a little crazier back then, but I was broke as fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like there's give and takes, you know what I mean? So like as far as being all around, and like I said, I'm very proud of it, and I don't mind talking about it because I'm proud. I've earned it all. No one's handing me shit.
Well, so it's
you
like, earned every bit of it.
Yeah, so it's like I have pride in it. I have pride of being an example and showing that to my family and my sons and, you know, everything.
You know, I mean, you can take that another step further because not only are you proud of it, your kids are proud of that. Because I'm telling you, they're talking to their friends.
Yeah.
And their friends' parents, they don't look like you.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? Like, you're different.
Yeah.
And they know it just physically by seeing you.
For sure.
And so they're proud of you, too.
And it's, you know, it's funny thing is it's sometimes my kids, especially my oldest, because he's an introvert and he's shy. You know, he obviously gets attention for having a dad like me, all the friends at school, from the guys and the girls, you know, having a dad like me that's built like me, all tatted, jumping out of Lambos. Like, they all go crazy over it. And he's like, you know, he doesn't like the attention. He's like, no, but I think deep down, hopefully he does. You know, he knows, like, it's not normal, right? So, I mean, as much as they maybe like it, they should like it, he's like, stay away, you know. He'd rather, you know, but I don't think he'd rather have a normal dad, you know, because he's benefiting from it.
Dude, without a doubt.
You know? So what's next for you, man? 4 years old.
Yeah, I got to go pro this year.
You want to go pro this year?
I got to go pro this year. That's like I was saying, that's something I want my kids to say, you know, my dad's a professional athlete. That's cool. Okay. And
you know, did last year? You did a national show. Was it first time or no?
No, I took last year off.
The year before was that? I thought you did.
I did 2 national shows the year before. So I went top 10 1 year out of 27, 1 year out of 25. I went top 10 once, top 12 another show. One in Florida.
That's a big company. Those are 25.
Those are big
people.
dudes, dude. Yeah.
These guys are big.
Yeah, men's physique's not like it used to be.
No, it's crazy. Like, I remember men's physique was like. And here's the thing, I almost wish, like, I don't know, I guess it's crazy. These pros men's are crazy, bro.
They're bigger than classic guys.
Yeah, some of them are.
Some of them are. Yeah.
And they just don't want to do classic, or because the weight cap. It's weird.
It's the
there's
weight
no
cap.
weight cap in men's physique, but there's weight cap. It's weird.
In classic, yeah. Yeah. It went from that beach body to they just started getting wider and wider at the top. And but man, it's a competitive division. It was interesting. You know, I took a year off to get bigger because after I competed in my regional show, I got second. And I was like, no way, I'm not getting on stage in front of these guys. Like, if I step on a stage, I'm not laughed off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna belong, at least when I do get up there.
Yeah.
And I had to cut down to like 205 pounds.
Yeah.
And I looked okay. The guys that were winning were 215.
Okay.
So
and how tall are you?
5'11".
You're 5'11". And how much do you weigh now?
230 right now.
Okay, you're heavy.
Yeah, 230, about 13% body fat right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty stacked. 5'11".
Yeah. Biggest and leanest I ever been.
Hell yeah.
So I took last year off, and because I want to hit stage 210, 212 at minimum this go round. Yeah.
Okay, so you're not going to lose that much from where you're at now, though.
Shouldn't.
You stay pretty tight in the off-season.
Oh, yeah.
I've done... Back in the day, dude, I remember I did the old school, eat everything you see, the old school dirty bulky. And for somebody with my fucking genetic, fat ass genetics, I got so thick, bro. That's what happened. So the first show I ever did, I was 19 years old. And I remember I was running cycles and it was like, eat everything you can, eat as many calories as you can. And like I said, I got fat ass genetics. I was a fat kid that lost weight. So for me, I put on fat really easy. And I got up to almost 250. you know, and I'm only 5'9", and it was a messy 250. It wasn't like a solid 250. And I got up to 250, my first show. Mm-hmm. That was the off-season Dirty Bulk, 250. And then I dieted down. It was I think it was a 12-week prep.
Okay.
In 12, which is kind of a shorter prep.
Yeah.
In 12 weeks, I went from 250, and I think I got on stage at 180.
Dude, that's a lot of fat.
180.
That's a lot of fat you had on there.
No shit.
Because you probably come back in at like 6%, something like that. Yeah. Damn.
So I lost in 3 months, 12 weeks.
Yeah.
I lost almost 80 pounds.
God.
You know,
that made your cardio so much harder. You know,
cardio, and I just no carbs and just T3 and everything.
Yeah.
You know? And I looked good, but here's the thing. Here's what I've done at every show. Every show I've coached myself, because I was more old school like that, and now there's a lot more coaching, whichever one. I think maybe I can benefit from it, but now I definitely have the knowledge I know. But every show, you know, I've only done about 4 shows. I got 3rd place in a couple of them, 2nd place in a couple of them. And I could have won them. The thing I've done every time, and you think if you made the mistake, I want to keep making it. Mm-hmm. I always look better a week out to 2 weeks out. Okay. And I try all this last minute magical shit. I take diuretics, I cut my water, I try to carb up, I try to just fuck around with everything. And I end up on stage like, and you know, in your mind, it's a mindset thing too.
Yeah.
Like when you're on stage, if you're not happy with the way you look, it shows. Like you did all this work, you get up there and you're like, you subconsciously know, like, fuck, I should look better. I know I look better. It's a shitty feeling.
Yes,
so honestly, I may want to do another show too, because I can honestly say there's never been a show I did where I was like, I'm fucking the man. Like, you know, like I'm an alpha, and I'm a lot of proud of who I am and very confident. But like, when you're on stage, if you're not confident, it's not a good feeling. And I've never been there because, like I said, I've looked amazing a week or 2 out, and I always fucked myself. And you know that can be a big swing. And you know, when you're that lean, you look significantly different.
You could change one thing, and your body completely respond differently, and you could look like a bag of shit.
That's something that's kind of in the back of my mind too, because until I step on stage, like big dick swinging, like confident, like that feeling. And then that comes over, and you're posing. That comes over everything. I want to feel that because I always have passion behind it. So who knows what's gonna happen, man?
Dude, 40, you're the good size to do that. And where you do those damn stairs, man, your quads are so conditioned.
I know you see them,
all
even
the time.
Now, even the condition I am. Yeah. So
but like I mean, I don't mean to curse the stairs, but I'm just saying.
I know you don't like them.
Yeah, I don't personally like them. I do the elliptical machine just because it's easier on my knees and ankles. I honestly have tried the stairs, and I can't hang, bro. Yeah. I can't.
They are. Elliptical though, huh?
Yeah, it's easy, and it just gets my heart rate where I need it. I can bang it out and move on, you know.
And like I said, a lot of it, unless you're playing, you know, catch up, is your nutrition.
Yeah.
So especially if you stay as conditioned as you stayed. There's not much cardio needed. Obviously, you need to do it, but like you need to you shouldn't have to kill yourself on cardio. If you are, be better on nutrition, stay tighter, and or have a longer prep or something. You know?
Yeah. So. Yeah, I'm doing a 16-week prep, longest I've ever done.
Okay.
But I am like I said,
obviously you're taking it easy.
Yeah, 3 days, 30 minutes for 3 days a week right now. Yeah. So it's super mild for what it is, and I'm eating a lot of food.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So I don't want this to. How long are we going, Wemo?
It's about time then. We're at 45 minutes.
45 minutes. I was feeling it. So we got to get a pump on.
We do.
And then we got to get an eat on. I'm excited to pump and eat. My 2 favorite things other than fucking.
All related to being a dad.
Still. Yeah. Those are all daddy things, honestly.
Daddy things.
Yeah, they are. Is there anything you want to share? Anything you want to say? I just appreciate you being here. Like I said, it's been over a year since we've seen each other, so I'm just glad to see you in person because now, you know, like I said, you were friends with people online, and then you see them in person, and then half the time you don't even like people. I actually really like this dude, so it's good to see him, you know, and I appreciate you coming out to me too. You know?
Yeah.
That's cool. So anything? Are you good?
Yeah, man.
You ready to get your swole on?
Yeah. Throw my Instagram up and they can find me.
Yeah, let them know what your Instagram is.
Yeah, TIDD_Justin.
Oh, yeah. It's last name first, then first name.
That's it. Underscore.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tag him. Like I said, we're going to post content from this. We're going to have pictures and workout videos. I'm going to tag him and all this shit. So this is a new podcast. Let me know feedback. Let me know what you think. Like I said, we're putting it, it's going to be called What the fuck is it gonna be called?
Daddy's Talk.
Daddy talk.
Daddy talk.
Daddy Talk.
Daddy's talk.
Daddy's
talk.
I mean, it's always multiple. So
appreciate you guys. We're out.